Environment protection and green initiatives have always been a key focus area of the Indian Navy. As a responsible multi-dimensional force, the Indian Navy has embarked on reducing its environmental footprint through energy conservation, minimizing marine pollution, and use of alternative sources of energy. The Indian Navy Environment Conservation Roadmap (INECR) has been the guiding document and key enabler for progressively achieving this vision of the Indian Navy to add a green footprint to its blue water operations. Today, Indian Navy conducted the World Environment Day this year, adhering to the lockdown measures in force. Educational awareness programs, lectures and webinars were conducted over electronic media in naval stations in lieu of the otherwise regular outdoor activities. To get more in detail about such important news, let us begin with today's defense updates of 5th of June 2020. Before beginning, I would like to tell you that SSB Crack Exams is India's largest, most preferred online defense exams preparation portal. As I am telling since many days that if you are preparing for various defense examinations like NDA, CDS, AFCAT, INET, Territorial Army and Indian Air Force, Airman Group X and Group Y, you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, and you can even directly visit us through our website learn.ssbcrackexams.com. You can download our app from Google Play Store, and all of these will help you in your preparation for various defense examinations that I have mentioned before, and it will always keep your study and your progress in a very good way forward. Beginning with the question of the day that I have posted yesterday on 4th of June 2020, and the question of the day for yesterday was this one: which aircraft was the first one to supercruise without an afterburner in its engine? So, which aircraft was the first one to supercruise without an afterburner in its engine? So, before understanding what is afterburner, I would like to reiterate to you what is actually a supercruise of the aircraft. Consider all of this as the ground of any particular surface, and if our aircraft is here, this aircraft has to do a runway, it should do a takeoff, it should do a cruising one, and then it will have to descend and then again land. If all of this, the beginning from the starting point to the ending point, you call this thing as range. We have a runoff phase, and then you will have a lift-off here. We'll have a climb here, climbing phase. Then we'll have a cruising phase, and then we'll again descend. After descending, it will have a primary key lookout area, and here it will have actually that point is known as a touchdown point, and then it will again run off. So in this way an aircraft will do. If this cruising area, if this cruise is around supersonic speeds, then this cruise is known as a supercruise. A supercruise is something where the Mach number is greater than 1. What is Mach number? Mach number is the speed of the aircraft divided by the speed of the sound. Okay, speed of sound will vary at different altitudes. At different altitudes, depending upon the speed of the sound, the Mach number also will change. Understanding? The more the speed of the aircraft than the speed of the sound, the more the Mach number. That means in a way, speed of the aircraft is equal to the multiplication of the speed of the sound with the Mach number. If I am telling Mach number is greater than 1, if I am telling that Mach number is equal to 2, that means that particular aircraft has 2 times the speed of the sound. Understanding? Now let us understand what is actually the afterburner. This is a basic turbofan engine. Why I am discussing the turbofan engine, I'll tell you afterwards. In a turbofan engine, you have the low pressure compressor, which is mentioned here. It is a 3-stage low pressure compressor. Then we have here high pressure compressor. This high pressure compressor is of around 7 stages, as it is mentioned here. This is a very large fan. As of here, we have only one fan, and then we have this particular chamber is known as the combustion chamber, and then we have a low pressure turbine, and we have a high pressure turbine here too, and then we have a nozzle, and then we have an exhaust. So this is a basic schematic diagram of a turbofan engine. What happens is, when the fan rotates, the fan blades, they have a cross section of an airfoil, and then when they are rotating, they enter more air into themselves, thereby creating a lot of lift, and all of the air will enter into the blades. Air will go through 2 different directions. One way, in the external way, all of the air will go out thereby producing an extra thrust from outside the engine. Whichever air is going inside, it will get compressed. Getting compressed means if an area is included in this sort of area, if an air is included in this sort of area, while compressing it, we are reducing the number of molecules present in this area to this area. Now what happens if you are compressing this? The volume of that particular air will reduce, thereby pressure will increase, temperature will increase. So this particular air, which is completely very hot and which is very compressed, it is mixed with the fuel in the combustion chamber. Then it will be sent into the turbine, where in the turbine the acceleration will improve. Please remember, I am not talking about velocity, I am talking about acceleration. The air whichever is mixed with the fuel, it gets ignited here in the combustion chamber, and that rich mixture which is full of energy, that will be accelerated through the turbine blades, and then they will be exhausted out. So if there is any amount of air getting inside, if a mass m of air is entering inside, then along with the mass m of air, we are also including mass m of fuel and also including an extra energy. This change in the mass is known as the conservation of mass. So an aero engine will work on the principle of conservation of mass. So that is a very important one for us to know. Now we understood what is this afterburner. To understand what is afterburner, this rich mixture which is getting outside, here will have an extra compartment known as the afterburner's compartment. Here along with this particular one, we will also include an afterburner. What is actually an afterburner, sir? So an afterburner is an additional combustion component used on some aero engines, mostly those on military supersonic aircrafts, and its purpose is to increase the thrust. So now along with this particular one, we are also including an afterburner, where afterburners will also burn extra amount of fuel. Because of that, along with this, we are getting an extra amount of after burning energy, extra mass. So along with this, if you are doing that, if less amount of mass is getting inside of the aero engine and large amount of air is getting outside, what happens? This will produce a significant thrust moving forward, and then the aircraft will move forward with this particular engine. This is how a basic aero engine works. And if you don't have any fan here, if the fan is not included, this engine is known as a turbojet engine. If the fan is included, it is a turbo fan engine. Instead of fan, if I am fixing a generic gearbox, and along with that gearbox, if I am including some kind of propeller here, then it will be a kind of turbo prop engine. So all of these variants are very important for us to know. Now let us understand the answer. Now that we have understood what is actually a supercruise, we understood what is an afterburner. Now I would like to explain to you the exact answer for this particular one, and the answer for this is actually the Lockheed Martin FA-22 Raptor. This is the first aircraft to supercruise without an afterburner, to have a cruising speed in a supersonic speed. That means to cruise in a supersonic speed, you have to require afterburners. So it was this particular aircraft which was for the first time didn't use any afterburner, but still it supercruised. So now let us understand about this in more detail. This is a single seat, twin engine, all-weather stealth tactical fighter aircraft developed for the United States Air Force. It is the first American fighter aircraft with the ability to supercruise or fly at supersonic speeds without using the afterburner in their early flight tests. It sustained speeds of Mach 1.5 without using afterburner, and it can reach Mach 1.8 using the afterburner. Raptor's two Pratt and Whitney F119 PW100 engines, they pump out 35,000 pounds, that means 15,876 kgs. So now you have to understand the mass that I am mentioning here. This particular mass, the whole mass, this is around 15,000 pounds. Imagine 15,000 pounds. So if this aircraft has an engine producing 15,000 pounds, imagine the thrust it can produce, and that is why the aircraft is going supersonic. Supercruise capability, it can also provide advantages for the stealth aircrafts because an afterburner plume, you can see here whichever things are getting out, in a way you can see the changes. The jet will produce a kind of plume. This is known as an afterburner plume, and this reflects all sort of radar signals, and it will also create a significant infrared signature. Now we will understand in more detail about this one, what are Pratt and Whitney F119 engines. So this is a schematic diagram of Pratt and Whitney F119 engine. Here you can find all of these are known as the fan blades, and these are known as the compression chamber. Here you have the combustion chamber, here you have the turbine blades, all of these are the turbine blades, and then here you have the afterburners. All of these, this particular chamber is known as afterburning chamber, or simply AB. So from here, whatever rich mixture is there, it gets exited out, and this is of very high temperatures, extremely high degrees of Kelvin, and this is the exhaust. You can see the exhaust pane is also devised in a way so that it will help in more movement of air outside. So that is it to understand about this particular engine, friends. Now let us begin with today's important defense updates, so that you are waiting a lot about this one. So today a very important news are going to be covered. The Andaman and Nicobar Command is getting its new chief today. Lieutenant General Manoj Pandey has assumed the command of Andaman Nicobar, and Andaman Nicobar Command is a tri-service command of the Indian Armed Forces based at the Port Blair in the Andaman and Nicobar. This command provides all sort of logistical and administrative support to naval ships which are sent on deployment to East Asia and the Pacific Ocean. Going on with the next important update is Lieutenant General R.P. Singh, Param Vishisht Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal. He visits the Vajra Corps or the 11th Corps. Lieutenant General R.P. Singh, he is mentioned here, he is the General Officer Commanding in Chief of the Western Command. Western Command of the Indian Army. And this is very important. He reviewed the operational and COVID-19 preparedness of the Corps, and he also inaugurated newly constructed AstroTurf hockey ground for the Army Services hockey node at Jalandhar Cantonment. 9 Corps is stationed at Jalandhar Cantonment. You can go through in much more detail about this particular news in our blog too. Going on with the next important update is World Environment Day 2020, Indian Navy's green footprint to its blue water operation. This is what I was discussing with you in the introductory session. Indian Navy Environment Conservation Roadmap, INECR, is a very important one. It has been the guiding document and key enabler for progressively achieving this vision of the Indian Navy to add a green footprint to its blue water operations. Educational awareness programs, lectures, webinars were conducted today over electronic media and naval stations in lieu of otherwise regular outdoor activities, and what all sort of beautiful things have been made, all sort of manufacturing activities, all solar installations and all which are taken up by the Indian Navy are discussed in our blog in much more detail. You can go through our blog. Going on with the next important update is the 176 Indian citizens from Bahrain and Oman. They complete their quarantine at Naval Base Kochi. Few days before, in the same defense updates, I was discussing with you that people have been brought from these countries to our nation and they are being stationed at Kochi and they have kept under quarantine. Today, they have finished their quarantine. Now let us understand what was at the actual news before. The Navy's quarantine facility at Kochi with 200 bed capacity was set up in March 2020, and it has been the serving as transit quarantine camp for naval personnel returning to Kochi on duty after leave. It was modified at short notice to cater for the arrival of personnel from Bahrain and Oman. Yesterday, these personnel successfully finished their quarantine. Going on with the next important update, after US, France, South Korea, Singapore and Australia, India is also now looking to ink military logistics pact with Japan. The full form of MLSA is Mutual Logistics Support Arrangement. Please pardon me for the handwriting. The MLSA, Mutual Logistics Support Arrangement, will enable our warships to get refueling from Australian tankers on the high seas while also availing of berthing, maintenance, storage facilities at the Australian naval bases, and it will of course be on a reciprocal basis. Going on with the next important update is that Australia is extending the support to our country for permanent United Nations Security Council seat and the Nuclear Suppliers Group membership. Both sides have reiterated their support for continued bilateral civil nuclear cooperation and their commitment to further strengthen global non-proliferation. Australia welcomed the International Energy Agency's strategic partnership with India in building stronger ties with global community. Going on with the next important update is ITBP, Indo-Tibetan Border Police. It establishes two new headquarters to look after the Indian-China border. Where are they established? They are established in Chandigarh and Guwahati. The Chandigarh headquarters will be headed by an IG rank, means Inspectorate General, Inspector General rank official, who will work as the Additional Director General and will look after Ladakh, Leh and Srinagar areas, while the Guwahati sector will look after the northeastern parts. Going on with the next important update is, as LAC hots up, that means as the situations at the line of actual control are going to be going very, very hot, the Inter-Services Intelligence, the Pakistani ISI Chief Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid, he secretly visits the LOC and he meets top terror commanders. This is very humiliating for us to know. A week ago, ISI Chief Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid and senior officials of Pakistani Army held a meeting at guest house in Lower Gojra area of Muzaffarabad, which is there in the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. He visited there and he interacted with most important terror kingpins. He visited to POK, was aimed at boosting the morale of training commanders of different terrorist organizations patronized by Pakistani establishments to continue executing violent attacks inside our territory. And this is a very important one. To get in more detail about what is actually happening, you can go through our blog, wherein which we have even provided in much more detail in the study material. Going on with the next important one is about Amethi AK-203 factory is unlikely to start the operations this year. Indo-Russian plan. The Indo-Russia Rifles Private Limited is a rifle manufacturing facility in Korwa, Amethi district in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, and this is very important one. This factory manufactures the AK-203 variant. This is a very important rifle because this rifle is going to replace our INSAS rifle. If in case these rifles are produced in large numbers, these rifles are intended to replace this, and this factory is a joint venture between the India and Russia. This is going to make assault rifles, and this is another key milestone in the relationships between our country and Russia. But unfortunately, due to the travel ban imposed and due to COVID-19 pandemic, it is making very highly unlikely for the factory to start the operations this year. After the plan, the Ordnance Factory Board and Kalashnikov, because Ordnance Factory Board owns the lot of partnership in this particular deal, and this one and the Russian company, the Kalashnikov, the joint venture between both of them was to arrive at a fair price for setting up and producing almost 7 lakh rifles by May end, but this wasn't possible, unfortunately. And now we'll have a very quick review of the questions of the topics we have discussed. And the first and foremost question is, the Lieutenant General Manoj Pandey assumed the command of which particular command? The answer for this is Andaman and Nicobar Command. Next question is, the 11th Corps of Western Army Command is stationed at Jalandhar. The another nickname of this particular corps is Vajra Corps. That you have to remember. Going on with the next important question, the Pakistan's ISI chief is who? He is the Faiz Hamid. Qamar Javed Bajwa is Pakistan's army chief. Mujahid Anwar Khan is Pakistan's air chief, and Zafar Mohammad Abbasi is Pakistan's navy chief. Going on with the next important question, the Indo-Tibetan Border Police ITBP on Thursday issued an order of establishing 2 command headquarters in which 2 important cities? The answer for this is Chandigarh and Guwahati. Next important question is, India's first overseas military base at Djibouti became operational in which particular month and year? The answer for this is August 2017. Next question is, which rifles manufactured by Indo-Russia Rifles Private Limited will replace INSAS rifles soon? The answer for this is AK-203 rifles. Now we have the question of the day, and the question of the day for today is, what is IMTR-80 and where is it located? Or in other words, we can even call it, what is IMTRAT and where is it located? The answer for this and the explanation of it in detail, I will be giving you in the next session. Until then, stay tuned to SSB Crack Exams. Download our app from Google Play Store. Subscribe to this particular channel. Last but not the least, stay home, stay safe, and Jai Hind.